Hello and welcome to my channel. I appreciate you coming. If you're new here, please subscribe and you'll be notified with new videos that come out. Okay? It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video. The last one was just a regular bowl out of oak. Today we're going to go back to doing some segmented. Okay? Today we're going to use these pieces to make two bowls. Got them all cut up. The widths based on what the cut sheet told me I needed for these bowls. And with that, let's get started. This is the style bowl we're making this time. Kind of a twist to the woods. There's 3 different woods. We got maple, cherry, and walnut. And this, you ain't going to be able to really read this, but this is my cut sheet. So based on my cut sheet will tell me what size segment I need. All right. Now the segment will be measured from the back side of the segment. If you think about a circumference of 360 degrees, however many, this is going to be 36 pieces, so that's 10 degrees for each piece, right? Because the back side is going to be the main width, tells you what size the bowl will be. But it's 10 degrees for each piece. Each piece will be 5 degrees on each side, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use, I should have had this out already. Sorry about that. I thought I did, but I didn't. I'm using Seg Easy's cut things and cheating a little bit. Works really well. What I do is I set these up in my little jig here. All right. And as you see, I need to set this one up for the 36. And I set it up so that it is straight on the bottom. All right. And tight on both sides. And the width will be based on the widest board I'm going to use, which is going to be this one right here. So there's plenty of room for that to go through. All right. On the end, I got to be back to the edge. This is the stop. I'm going to use it to show me where each piece stops to be cut as I go. Most wood turners understand what I'm doing. I'm doing this for people who, may not understand or never did any wood turning before and thinking about getting into it. Okay. All right. So let me get this set up just right. All right. So the very first piece, where's my tool? Handy dandy tool. Here it is. Okay. First one on the cut sheet is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to set this at a 1/2 inch. Okay. When I say this, I mean this right here. I'm setting this at a 1/2 inch. And then what I do is I use a stick. What happened to my stick? My goodness, I'm not ready. All right, so I take my stick here, measure over. This is the way I have found, it might be easier ways, but this is how I found is the best way to set the stop. So then what I do is I come over here to the saw. On the back side of the blade, I'm setting my line, okay? And that's where my stop's going to be for the first cut, which is going to be the very bottom ring, okay? In the past, I haven't been very clear about how I do this. I'll make that a little bit bigger. There we go. So I thought I'd get more detailed. Now, there's going to be things about this bowl I'm not going to be that detailed on. I'll have to be detailed later, but all right. But if you ever have any questions, please ask, all right? With that done, now I'm cutting enough for 2 bowls. So I got to cut 72 for each ring, okay? So each collar is going to be 24 of each color. When I say color, each type of wood. So I've got walnut, cherry, and maple. I'm going to get 24 of each one. That does all the bowls. Okay. One. All right, so I think you kind of get the idea. I'm going to continue. I'm going to cut all these segments. I'm going to sand them. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll make the ring. All right, so we got all of the segments cut, which took about 5 hours of cutting and sanding. But the next thing we're going to do is put the rings together. Let me slowly do this so you don't give you a headache. All right, so here's what the rings are going to look like. You got maple, cherry, walnut in that order all the way around, right? So first, knowing that, I set it up like this for gluing. Okay, first I glue it, and then I'll put it over on the the other part, and I'll show you that right now. Okay. Of course, I got this nice rubber thing down here so glue doesn't get all over. Let's see, let me use a different bottle of glue. This one's tired. Okay, I just... All right, and then I'll just spread the glue around my finger. There's 150 ways to do this, but this is how I do it. Oh crap. There we go. They tend to move a little bit. But once I get the glue on, it goes really fast. All right. All right, so I'm gonna come back over to this side and all right, then I grab some of these here and just start laying them out. All right. You just stay in the same order as I had it set up. All's well. I just have to keep an eye on it in case I goof up somewhere and get the order wrong. That would be an ugly bowl, I think. All right. I'm not worried about it getting perfect right now because I'm going to press it down. I wish I was better prepared than I am now because I didn't. What did I do that for? I didn't get my big piece of wood that I want to use for this. You'll see what I mean. I gotta get it down still. Anyway, This goes pretty quick. I like to glue it this way. I've seen folks who would have it all laid out and then they individually glue them. That's fine. Whatever works best for a person, right? So, turn it around. Trying to be too much of a hurry and I mess up. Just like that. Try to get too much in a hurry, end up slowing down. All right. There we go. There's that part so far. Now, stand by. I wasn't prepared as I wanted to be. I have these discs that I use just for this occasion. And what I do is I put this on here. All right. Grab me a rubber band up here. I used to have these, do it a much different way, and it was harder. This seems to be the easiest for me, and then all I have to do is put the rubber band on. The press just holds them in place until I do that. That's it. There's one ring. And I'll sit here until I get all these rings done, all right? Once I do that, we'll come back, and then we'll run them all through the drum sander. And I knock the corners off of it. This is going to be the base to the bowl, okay? It's a very simple process, just mount it in the lathe. And I already did one. I'm going to do it 2 bowls to see really quickly. It's easy to do. So, now when I cut, watch up here, not down where the tool is. You want to watch up here. That's showing how flat it is, right? Okay. Voila. So we got on the round. So what I'm going to do is cut a tenon for it. And I got my little marking gauge here to mark it for a tenon. Okay. So all I ought to do is move the camera. I'm not sure you can really see that. Don't close your eyes. Don't get dizzy. All right, we're back on the other side. And hope I can do this with that there. So, let me change something. All right, I'm just going to cut over to the line. I'm going to take out the line because I know it was kind of thick. The marking was. Okay, that's all there is to it. So what that is, that mounts to the chuck. On this side, I'm going to glue on the, the rest of the bowl is going to be glued on the other side. Okay. Right now, all the rings are drying, and so that tomorrow we'll start that process. All right, as you can see, all the rings have been made. This is enough for 2 bowls, as I keep saying. I don't know why I keep saying that. I guess it looks like a lot of rings, so I have to let you know it's for 2 bowls. Now we're going to run them through the drum sander and get them ready to start putting together into a bowl. All right, so. Now we're at the step of creating the bowl. We're going to start building this bowl. I do it on the lathe, so it keeps it each ring in order that how am I trying to say that? So that when it turns, the rings are turning the way they're supposed to instead of being all wonky. You know, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I think you know what I mean. If I make it off the lathe, then sometimes I run a risk of the pieces not gluing up right, and then when I turn them, I run out of wood because it's all messed up. So anyway, just trust me. This works best for me. I don't know how to talk today. All right, so I got a cherry base for this bowl. There's going to be a cherry base, and the last ring is cherry to kind of complement each other. Plus, I have a lot of cherry right now. Got to use up the cherry. All right, let me. It's pretty simple. I mean, each ring is going to get stacked on the next one, right? And I use this as a clamp. Use the lathe as a clamp. All right. And then we'll just build it from here. And it'll be really fast because I'm going to just speed it up and it'll be a bowl. All right, the time has come to where we can actually start turning some wood. I think this is on my 4th day. We started, of course, cutting the strips, cutting the segments, gluing the rings together, and each part kind of takes a whole day. All right. But this is the part I like the best. I think most people would agree that turning the bowl is the fun of all, is the funnest part. So with that, let's get on it. All right. We'll start off about 900. I've got my tailstock up for more support. What I normally do is I step down, I do kind of each ring and do a rough cut and then smooth it out. There is one section up here, it's only got about 3/8 of an inch of glue up, so I just have to watch how much I take off at that area. So, okay. So now from here on, it's probably going to be fast forward watching. You know, because it's going to take me a while to turn this. When you think of a video taking about 3 hours of video shots, you got to get that down to 30 to 40 minutes of editing. So one way we do that, and I do that, is fast forwarding the turning part, you know, and just throw some music in there for the entertainment part. So anyway, I just want to explain that briefly. Let's get on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the tool rest again. This one's not working. So in order to make sure I can get what I need to do, I'm going to see this. This will not fit underneath the bowl. It'll hit right here at the bottom of the bowl because how big the bowl is, right? So what I have to do now is I'm going to sneak it to the other side so I can finish and do something on the bottom. So come on, you. Sorry about that. I just didn't want this to be placed in a different position is what it is. Actually, I want to use a small one now. So I get up in there and get up in there, get tight in that. A bit now. Alrighty. Let me see where I'm at. I got some glue line coming out right here, see? So I got to take a little bit more off. Not much, just enough to take care of that. So you got it off balance just by pulling that off and putting it back on. Didn't go exactly to the right spot. It threw it off a little bit. I was afraid of that. I should have marked it before I did that. All right, that should be good. All right, so that's the start. See, that gives us our profile to turn inside. All right, so now I'm gonna switch the camera position over here, and then we're gonna do the inside. I had started turning, turned the face and kind of took the corner here, but then I realized I didn't have the camera on. When you've been doing this for years and just been doing YouTube less than a year, they still forget to turn the camera on. See, now that the goal here is to do the top part almost to finish before you get the meat done in the middle. Even on a bowl as a segmented bowl, because if not, you try to come back up here and you get a bunch of flexing going on. You don't need that because there's no wood left, right? right, guys. All we got to do is do the sanding and the finishing. I'll come back when it's time to remove the bottom tenon and do the final touches to the bowl. All right, got it all sanded. Now the finish I want to use on this one is acts as the braze. I'm going to braze a palette, use a sanding paste on it. Then I'm going to use Axe's polish, okay? And that'll come out really nice. I like to do that with my segmented wood. All right. Use up what I got left in this one. What I do is I just smear it all over. Okay. Probably want to open a new one. This works really well. Folks who've used it all know what it's like. It works real well with the good polish. Puts a good polish on the bowl. And if you're going to use it for, you know, salads and whatnot, that's fine. It's food safe. And you can recondition it with this Axe polish, or you can get, or Axe wax, or you can get another, like a walnut oil or something. I like Mahoney's walnut oil. There's a few other ones out there that are good. Probably a lot of them are good, but I have only tried a few myself. I haven't tried them all for sure. They're probably all good because that's why they are what they are, but I mean, they wouldn't be on the market if they weren't good, right? So, all right, so I'll get this all covered. And let me do the back side. You're not seeing this side, but I just do it all at the same time. I just buff it. I'm starting around 600. The idea is, because it's a sanding polish, it's doing it, you know, I've sanded it up to 400, and now this can take it up to 1,000 for that matter. It just takes time. You just got to be patient with it. Okay. I'll go ahead and play some music and speed it up here for you. All right, all buffed and all waxed. And now what we're going to do is turn the bowl around, and I'm going to remove the tenon and do the finishing on the bottom. All righty, so we're going to remove this tenon, clean up the bottom, and then I'm going to with my Forstner bit, I'm going to drill 1.25 inch hole for the medallion that will go in the bottom of this bowl. Now, most of you have been coming to my, watching my videos, and you know that I do this on every bowl. I put a medallion. But if you're new, there's a medallion I'm putting on there, so, okay. You'll see it better later, I hope. But, yeah. I use a little CA glue and add that on. All right, so, enough talk. Let's get to work. You might notice a blue up here. I use a blue painter's tape on the rim of the bulb, you know, to protect it. So there's the ought to talk about this before I started it. You'll see the little things that are holding the bowl on, they're black and they're like rubber. If I don't use that tape, black gets all over the bowl again, and I have to clean that off, and that's not easy. I know it's a long way around to tell you that little bit, but anyway. I'm going to use a Forstner bit. I'll just drill that nub out there at the same time that I'm drilling the hole. A little bit of stuff went on there. I have to clean that up. Probably sand it. It's not much. Let me drill the hole. I'll do a little sanding. Alrighty. Down about 600 for drilling. Don't have to be in a hurry. All right, and that's that. I'll come back now with the final rebuild. All right, we've got the bowl completed, all done. I think it turned out really nice. Nice and tight ring. I have no gaps anywhere. There's the bottom with the medallion. Yeah, came out real nice. I have a person who has already bought this bowl, but I'm making two bowls. The other one, as you can see, is down here on the lathe, ready to be done tomorrow. I'm not going to do it today. But yeah, isn't that nice? All right, well, I want to say thank you very much for watching my videos, watching this video, watching all my videos. If you want to see other videos of mine, just go to my Just Woodwork Studio channel, and all of them will be there. I just want to say thank you very much, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And with that, I just want to say God bless and have a great day.